Ar-Rahnu is an Islamic mortgage scheme based on Sharia. The word Ar-Rahnu is derived from Arabic Ar-Rahn, which means pound. The objective of Ar-Rahnu is the same as personal financing, which is to get cash but by pledging gold. Thus, at least the borrower is not burdened if unable to repay the financing because it has been pledged with gold. This is in line with the concept of Sharia, which is not oppressive. In Malaysia, there are many institutions that offer Sharia-compliant pawn services. The first institution to introduce the concept of Ar-Rahnu in Malaysia was Yayasan Pembangunan Ekonomi Islam, YAPIM, and subsequently followed by other institutions such as Permodaran Kelantan, Berhad, and Muassasah Gadaian Islam Terengganu, MGIT. In addition, banks and cooperatives also offer the Ar-Rahnu scheme such as Bank Rakyat, Bank Muamalat, and also Bank Islam. This concept is explained in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 283, where it is permissible to mortgage when in debt. The borrower is not charged a profit rate interest. Instead, it is only charged a saving wage, ujrah. Thus, this concept of Ar-Rahnu can be said to be a win-win situation between the financier and the borrower, as the financier holds the gold belonging to the borrower while the borrower gets the cash. The implementation of Ar-Rahnu is based on 4 contracts. First, Qardul Hasan. It is a contract regarding financing that does not impose any charges other than the financing already provided. No profit can be taken by the financier against the borrower. However, the borrower may, at its discretion, repay an additional amount of money than the money borrowed as a token of gratitude. This type of loan is not considered to be in breach of Sharia by involving, since there is no agreement to pay more or riba. Number 2, Wadiyah Yad Damana. The financier is responsible for taking care of the leased gold. In the event of any loss, the financier will be responsible for replacing the gold. In the event of damage to the goods, the party in charge is not required to pay compensation unless it is due to his negligence. Number 3, Al-Ujrah. In the Ujrah contract, the financier is allowed to charge a small fee as wages for keeping the gold pledged. In the context of Ar-Rahnu, Ujrah is a savings wage used for takaful coverage, employee salaries, administrative costs, and profits to the institution financier, and it is not interest. Number 4 is Ar-Rahnu. Borrowers are required to place valuable assets as collateral to obtain loans and ensure repayments, such as mortgage housing loans.
Next, legal jurisdiction. The legal jurisdiction of Ar-Rahnu has been divided into 2. First, power of federal government. It will hold conventional and Islamic pawnshop. All activities of Ar-Rahnu are under federal administration. It has been authorized to regulate mortgage activities. Second, the power of the state government. It means Islamic law, which is include hukum hakam related to pawning activities that follow Islamic principles.
The first type is Ar-Rahnu Yapim. This type of Ar-Rahnu is offer a product and services for all communities, especially for those who need cash fast and easily. This type of Ar-Rahnu is apply a concept of tawarruk that including Ar-Rahnu for a general purpose, Ar-Rahnu for an education, Ar-Rahnu for a business, which is they provide a capital for those who need to grow their business, and Ar-Rahnu for those who been through older sister, and Ar-Rahnu care. This all of the product is applying in Sharia concept. The next type of Ar-Rahnu is Ar-Rahnu KT, which K stand for Koperasi, T stand for Tentera. In this type of Ar-Rahnu, they take into account of the members of Malaysian Armed Force ATM, along with their mission to improve the social economic status of their members. They provide guaranteed saving facilities for their members with reward, which can help their members to improve their finance along with the saving habits in daily routine. Other than that, they provide also personal financing, takaful protection, and also there's other financing facilities for armed force itself. The next type of Arahnu is Arahnu Agrobank, which they provide mortgage services and alternative for those who want to lease gold bar and gold dinar. This type of Arahnu is help for those who want to have capital, enrolling their business or grow their own business. They also provide Islamic financial product and services to meet their needs of the halal industry. Sharia compliant transaction is more likely help them to increase the investors and consumer on the halal way. The last type of Arahnu is Arahnu Exchange, which they provide alternative to the society to meet their immediate cash needs and eliminate operation in mortgage transaction. They provide a product such as Azahab that the value of mortgage with maximum up to 3 years, which is installment repayment plan. In this situation, more people can get more benefits by using this type of Arahnu. The next part is the rules, which is the first rules is the pawnbroker or the person who pawns must be the person who is indebted, as the rules is made based on the Sharia compliance. The next is the mortgage or pawnbroker is the parties who give the loan itself. The third rule is mortgage goods or the property to be pledged, which the goods that are valuable in the control of the borrower in order to complete the Arahnu process. The fourth rule is mortgage, which the amount that have been borrowed or liability of Arahnu, which is how much the borrower have been borrowed or the value of the loan that have been provided by the financial institution. The last one is must have an offer and acceptance, which is the both parties is accepted by the bank in the Sharia.
There are four benefits of Arahnu to the real company. First, liquidity and financing assistance. Arahnu provides facilities to liquidate gold and provides financial returns that are non-depreciating and coincide with current gold price. In addition, providing funding assistance to those truly affected by the pandemic. Second, capital. Arahnu helping those who are just starting a business to gain capital by simply securing jewelry. Third, competitive purchase price. Arahnu accepts sales transaction and offer highly competitive purchase price of old jewelry for people who wish to start or maintain a business. Fourth, provide microcredit. Arahnu provide microcredit facilities to the Muslim, especially to those who need money immediately for business purpose. Next, benefit to the people who pawn. First, no interest or riba involved. As we know, riba is prohibited in Islam. Only savings are allowed on the person who pledge. This is because interest will only oppress people who are in trouble to redeem the mortgage goods, because the price that should be paid to redeem the mortgage goods multiplies many times. Second, pawn items will be the same as before once the item is redeemed. There will be no problems such as shorter or lighter gold bracelets, which can sometimes happen with conventional pawnbrokers that have no Islamic value in the business. Third, notice of auction. If the borrower is unable to repay the debt, they will be notified of the charges imposed and the forced sale through an auction that is being conducted online currently. Fourth, surplus will be returned. If the sale price through auction exceeds the balance of the debt, the excess will be returned to the person who pledged. 5. reasonable pawn value. One can still expect a reasonable pawn value from an institutional pawnbroker, Arahnu, even though the Pawnbroker Act 1972 does not prescribe a par value or criteria for valuing pawn gold. Next, I will continue with issue and challenges. Firstly, the administrative management of Arahnu does not have many framework and legal jurisdiction. There is fraud in the list that switches to use fake gold. This is using counterfeit gold will result. Like conventional pawn shop, they have many Mortgage Act of 1972 as protection transaction, but for Arahnu, it is not included in the Act because it is contain elements that do not comply with Sharia. Due to this fraud, Arahnu party will lose turnover because imitation gold cannot be occasioned. It is because gold has no value. The second issue is the Arahnu transaction lacking Sharia monitoring. The thing that happened about this issue is the question of what needs to be done with the storage of the balance of the customer property, whether it is Sharia compliant or not. Therefore, for conventional banks that want to create Islamic banking product, they need to have a Sharia advisor board. This is because their job is to ensure that the financial product activities that have been carried out always comply with Islamic Sharia. In Islamic, the balance of the property from the customer has to be returned to its owner or given to the Baitul Mal if they do not claim it is for a long period. Thirdly, the issue about the original property of Mahr received less oversight. Nowadays, a receipt will be proof that a person has become the owner of an item that has been purchased. With the receipt of the purchase will be the owner of the gold to be mortgaged. Several pawnshop institutions can accept it if they do not submit a purchase receipt. But in the Bank Rakyat, they are very concerned about the receipt. This is because they want to avoid gold or counterfeit gold from the robbery. The next issue is they did not receive adequate guidance to assess the authenticity of the pound gold. If seen nowadays, the use of artificial gold is increasing from time to time. Among the example of artificial gold is the use of gold-plated lead. Because of that, some machine or tools that test the purity of gold cannot detect it. If it is observed that Arahnu only accept some types of gold for fear of gold fraud like this. Therefore, every Arahnu institution requires the development of gold purity testing equipment to prevent gold counterfeiting fraud. Lastly, the lack of Arahnu institution branch. This happens a lot in rural areas. The distance between the people in the area and the institution of Arahnu is quite far. They tend to make mortgage a pawn shop near their area, which is a conventional pawn shop rather than the Arahnu pawn shop. Therefore, the opening of Arahnu institution in the outer region is very necessary, as well as the further develop the Arahnu institution sector. In conclusion, scholars have agreed that the law of mortgage is a mubah, must. This is because it has been stated in the Quran and in line with the Hadith. In addition, the Arahnu system of contributions to companies in Malaysia is more fair than the conventional one. So, it is not wrong to take advantage of Arahnu if your money is scarce or in need of cash at an immediate rate, whether for personal needs or business use.